Welcome back, everyone, to the Beyond the Score podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Matthew Supinger. I'm joined once again with Alex Perez. Alex, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you, Matt?
Doing pretty good. Back again with the episode. Feels like we haven't done this in a while.
It's been a while.
Been a minute, but we're back again after the interview last week. Got a pretty heavy thing going on today. Got some NKU sports finally kicking off, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Love getting the opportunity to talk about that. But before anything, we have to do a quick ceremony, we'll call it. We've been informed by agents that officially joining our roster is the great Kolton Smith. He is now your official director of the Beyond the Score podcast. Kolton, we don't have a WWE belt for you yet, but that is in the works.
But welcome to the team, buddy.
Yeah,
wow.
thank
Okay,
you.
So I'm no longer just a behind-the-scenes guy.
No longer the behind-the-scenes guy.
Wow.
Director.
Wow. This is truly an honor.
Yeah.
I got to thank my Purdue dynasty and my quarterback, running back Jamal Butt, just all the guys, you know.
Yeah, I mean that was actually a big when we were sitting there mulling over like who are we going to officially hire as our director.
Yeah. That was a big talking point behind the numbers too. The fans were really asking for it, so
yeah,
it's kind of hard to deny at that point.
We were walking around campus lately, and somebody stopped us and said, "Hey, where's Kolton at?" And we're like, "Oh, he's not with us right now." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, who are you guys then?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, see how it is."
They actually wanted us to write an article about the dynasty in the Northerner, but that'll probably come.
That's a sick article idea.
We haven't got it out yet.
Little spin-off show.
I mean, where's my documentary at? Like, Michigan's got one. You know,
yeah.
I'm sure there'll be plenty more coming up. Like, where's my doc at?
Well, you got to cheat to get an article like that. That's how Michigan got theirs. So
We'll talk to Wes. He's pretty good at docs.
yeah, that's what we'll do. So yeah, Kolton, we wanted to induct you into the Beyond the Score Hall of Fame, first member. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
Honor.
so starting it out, NKU sports. We're gonna chat some. Men's soccer's kicked off. Women's soccer's kicked off. No pun. Didn't mean to get the pun there, but there we go. And very soon we have women's volleyball kicking off. And next year we'll have men's volleyball, but not this year. So starting off, women's soccer, maybe not the best start to the season that they were wanting. 0-3 right now. Last game was not probably, it definitely was the closest game that they've had so far. It played off against Louisville, lost 2-1, got the sole goal by Shea Shipley. But what a game it was. I was there at that one. It's very fun. Everybody was really into it. That was the first soccer game I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah, that I remember.
Fair
I think
enough.
I was at one when I was younger, but I don't remember it. So, very fun game. They traveled to Miami today. At 7 p.m., they will square off against the Red Hawks in Oxford, Ohio. And September 1st on Sunday at 12:30 p.m., if you get to that game at Highland Heights against Mercyhurst, and you're one of the first 50 fans, you get a tie-dye white T-shirt, which I think that's something you can't pass out.
Absolutely not. I got to be there.
Yeah. You know the Northerner is going to be talking about that
For
one.
sure, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big one. You want to talk about some men's soccer that we got going on lately?
Let's do it. First off, actually, going back to women's soccer, I wanted to shout out a couple people. Shea Shipley that you mentioned, she's first in the Horizon League in goals, which is big time. And then Megan Gessner, the last I checked, she still has not allowed a goal. So that's pretty impressive for coming from the backup goalkeeper.
Locked down.
But yeah, moving on to men's soccer, they lost 2-1 in the home opener versus Bellarmine. That was a tight game, but it came down to being a man down. They were a man down for about 40 minutes, so it's tough for any soccer team to be able to win that game. Next up, they have Belmont, and that's today as well, and then Sunday at UAB. I feel like for the women's and the men's soccer team, it's just about getting the offense in the right place, because I feel like they're both pretty great defensive teams. Like the women's team is second in saves and has the least fouls, and the men's team is top 4 in least goals allowed. The only problem is, like I said, the offense, they're bottom of the Horizon League in points and assists. So, I mean, if they can get that together, and I'm sure being a man down in one game kind of skews the numbers, but if they can get that in the right direction, I think they'll turn their season around. So I'm hoping we'll see that.
Yeah, being at the game against Louisville the other night, seemed like it wasn't going to be going too good for NKU in the first half. And then after halftime, it seemed, Coach really reamed into him. Aggressiveness seemed to be the key.
Yeah.
In the second half, they were able to draw a lot of fouls on Louisville, and we even got a yellow card later in the game on Louisville. But they were really just, I think, digging into him. And I think that's the key with NKU. When you play these bigger schools, kind of like Liz Hart was talking about last week, they don't always know what to expect. They might have a little bit of a clue, but not always.
All right.
So, if you're the first one to go in there and bump some shoulders, give some elbows, I think that's huge. And the aggressiveness of the offense, where in the first half, I don't know if there's a stat for this. I don't know if somebody tracked this, how many times they were able to get across the field, like midfield. Wasn't too much in the first half. Second half, it seemed like every single time they touched the ball, they were getting down the field, at least.
Sure.
So, yeah, aggressiveness seems to be the key in these sports right now. Volleyball is kicking off against UK. Huge game.
Huge.
That's tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, it is tomorrow. They have a tournament this weekend in Lexington that starts with UK, and then they play Western Kentucky, and then they finish it out with, I believe, Morehead State. It's a doubleheader on Saturday, actually. Western Kentucky first, and then Morehead. Two tough teams to begin. I don't know too much about Morehead, but I know WKU received 157 votes to be in the top 25. They unfortunately did not get there, but that means they're right on the cusp of it. So they'll be a tough out for anybody. And Kentucky is number 9 in the nation, so that's going to be tough. But I am really excited about this year in volleyball. NKU is returning 6 players, and I know we had a pretty tough ending to the season last season against Green Bay. But let me read you some of the numbers that can hopefully give you some hope for the season. Last season, we were number 1 in aces, top 3 in points, top 3 in opponent assists, kills, and then top 3 in blocks and kills on the offensive side. And we were also top 5 in digs, opponent's aces allowed, and opponent hit percentage. I don't know if you know, Matt, but that's all the stats. So they were top 5 in every single thing that is a metric in college volleyball. So I'm very excited for this season.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. Early sports fan on the rise, hopefully. That's good, right?
Very good, yeah.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Just wanted to check. So, yeah, NKU Sports is getting into it. We're excited. So I think that means you all should be excited. We're going to be at the games. So I think that means you all should be at the games.
Oh, for sure. They play Louisville next Sunday, so you all should definitely come out to that.
Yeah, I'll be there. And actually, Alex will be there too. So if you guys see us, come up to us and, I don't know, ask where Kolton is or something. If Kolton's not at the game, ask where the new director is.
I would do.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be the smart thing to do. So moving forward after a great start to an exciting start to the NKU season. Maybe not the great start, but it's an exciting start.
For sure.
Going to talk some NBA. The 2024-25 schedule has been released. Got some pretty big games on there. Christmas Day is a big highlight to talk about. There's some really, really good games on the schedule. Starting off, Spurs, Knicks. After that, we got Timberwolves, Mavericks, Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, Warriors. A little bit of a rivalry there. And wrapping out the night with Nuggets at Suns. Which one on that schedule do you think is going to be the most exciting? And no bias here.
Oh, okay. It's hard not to put bias in it because Lakers and Warriors, anytime you have LeBron and Steph against each other, it's hard not to watch. It's hard not to find it the most exciting. It may be the play-in bowl, but it's still very exciting to watch. Which one's your favorite?
That's obviously a fun one. A Steph LeBron matchup on Christmas Day, you can't beat. That's always been a good one.
Yeah.
I think I'm most excited for Timberwolves and Mavericks. I think, you're getting a Western Conference Finals rematch between the two very young teams. You're getting to see some of the most fun players in the league showing down. I'm a little surprised it's at 2:30.
Fair.
I understand the Celtics won the title. I'll admit it. They did win the title. You can't be wrong with that.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. But to have the 2:30 game is a little crazy to me for a team that series was probably watched, like, definitely was watched more than the whoever the Celtics played in the Eastern Conference Finals. I can't even think of who it was. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised about that, but I think this is all going to be fun. I think the Spurs playing the Knicks, Madison Square Garden.
That's what I was about to bring up. We get that as the noon game. That is so awesome because usually the first game is a little boring just to get you into the day. I'm going to make sure my family's wrapping up those gifts. Like, open them quickly, please.
Yeah.
I need to watch this game. But I don't think there's a bad one on the slate for Christmas, which is really good to hear.
Yeah.
I know we didn't really get to touch on it yet, but opening day I'm really excited for. The Lakers play the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
I get to hate Rudy Gobert some more, so that's always a fun
Make sure to follow the Twitter.
Fun day for
Keep up
me.
with what
Yeah,
Alex
for
has to tweet
sure.
about.
And the Boston ring ceremony being against the Knicks, that's tough.
That is, yeah.
And a Knicks team that obviously only got better. That kind of stings that you may not even win that game.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since, like, the past couple of years and stuff, they've struggled mightily against a Knicks team that has been worse.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Kind of funny. Mexico City game, we were just talking about this one. Miami Heat showing down against the Wizards. Not really sure why they put the Wizards on that one. That seems really boring.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think I'd rather see the Pistons.
that's
It
true.
might be a crazy statement, but
Yeah.
rather see the Pistons in that one.
I think they may have just wanted the team that's going to shoot 40-footers and not feel bad about it.
Yeah,
So the Wizards will do that.
they wanted Jordan Poole. That's
Yeah.
what it ultimately came down to. He's a selling point.
That's
And
true.
if you don't agree with that, then don't know what to tell you. I think the coolest, maybe not the coolest, one of the cooler games on this packed schedule of the year, NBA Paris games. Spurs will be playing the Pacers over in Paris. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby gets to go home. He's probably going to hang like, I don't know, 70 on him or something like that.
Yeah,
He's
it'll be
going to
a
take out that Olympic anger.
small game for him, just 70.
Yeah, it's going to be a second season slump,
Yeah.
sophomore slump. But this seems like, everything they've posted so far, the NBA season is always fun. It seems like it's going to be really fun this year, though. So many stars, good rematches on days where you're going to get the highest viewership.
And
So-
San Antonio gets that game and the University of Texas game, so
Yeah,
they're getting a lot of good opportunities, and I can't wait to see how Wemby flourishes on those stages. One I'm really looking forward to, the last one I had on my list was Clay coming back to Golden State in an NBA Cup game, so already had weight to it, just being important for the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
And now it has a lot more weight to it with Clay's return, so I can't wait to see how that one turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a soft spot. I do
It's a little bit of a
apologize,
soft spot. You got me in my feels, and we're only a few minutes into the episode, so I think I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go cry in the bathroom.
All right.
And I'll be right back. No, I don't know. I really hope Clay does well this season. I don't know if he really will. I hate to be that dude, but it'll be a fun one to watch if nothing else, because it's going to be Clay coming back, and just kind of seeing how everyone goes and stuff like that. I know it's probably going to be a very, very social media ridden pregame
Very heavy
and
day.
postgame.
The discourse will be crazy. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be very wild. So, yeah, NBA season is already looking good. NBA schedule planners, you get to be on the score approval. 2 thumbs out of 2 from me. Alex, what's your rating?
2 thumbs as
2
well.
thumbs out of 2. Awesome. Moving on now to the WNBA. Been a very fun season, continuing to be great. Aja Wilson is still playing out of her mind.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about right now, Caitlin Clark has been writing her name all over the record books
For sure.
the past week and a half.
Yeah.
Broken numerous records. I know you've been keeping up. You've been watching a lot of the games
Oh, yeah.
recently. I know she broke the 3-point record, was it, the other day?
Yeah, going into the game, she was the Eastern Conference Player of the Week with 25 points a game, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. Then she, as you mentioned, broke the rookie record for made threes, leads the league in assists, and she also leads the league in makes that are unassisted. So she's pretty much doing it by herself if she needs to.
Yeah.
She's had the most assists in a game ever. Not a big deal in your rookie year or anything.
Yeah, it's
All-Star game, rookie record for assists. Has the rookie assist record for a season. There are 10 games left Just letting you know. She leads rookies in points per game, assists per game, steals per game, free throw percentage, 3-pointers made, field goals made, and highest field goal percentage at the rim by a rookie.
Yeah, it's
It'd honestly be easier to tell you what she's not good at.
yeah.
Turnovers, I guess. Like, she does have a lot of those, but that's about all I can see.
Yeah, she's really bad at doing what Diana Taurasi said she was going to do. So, yeah, I mean, if Caitlin Clark is doing this and she's not adjusted to the game, like she said, Diana said she was going to be.
I fear for the league.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah. And most of those turnovers are like people not catching the ball. But
Yeah.
I digress because I yell enough at Twitter and my TV when those games are on anyways.
Oh, yeah. Again, make sure you go follow Alex on Twitter because that is, if you're having a bad day at work, which there's been times I'm working, get out my phone, scrolling Twitter, see a post by Alex Perez. I'm like, let's go. My day is about to get substantially better.
I got post notifications turned on.
That's what you need to do.
As you should.
Like, it is the best follow on Twitter, hands down. I mean, he was talking about, like, what was the which I saw yesterday with like Kanye and that one song.
Oh yeah, don't do the Forever song. Don't redo
I
that.
did see that.
Yeah, they were talking about like if they redid it with like different ones. I was like, thank you, Alex. Thank you.
That would be so bad.
A man of the people. But my question on you're talking about Caitlin Clark. When are we going to make it out to a Fever game? We only got 10 games left.
I tried to throw a couple out in the group chat.
We should have gone to that.
We should have went to the one yesterday.
That one yesterday would have been a good one. But
I'm still down. We could try to go to a playoff game too.
It's just true. They'll have playoff games.
Yeah.
Might be a little pricey, but
It'd be worth
Caitlin
it.
Clark's one of one.
The brand deals will pay off.
Yeah, the brand deals. The documentary that is in the works now.
Yeah,
They're paying us so
officially.
much to be on the score. We can afford a game.
Live podcast at the Fever game. There you
Go down like on the court, like
work.
your.
We'll get Caitlin Clark on the podcast.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
sure
where it's
Alex could get that. for
Easily, yeah. I have the connection.
He's got plenty of connections. I mean, there's. He's always the one I go to. Like if I'm like, hey, I need to contact this person about an interview.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I got you. Also, by the way, if you need to interview Barack Obama, I got his number. So.
Sure. Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he's like that.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
could call her right now, but she's busy. So like,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
practicing everything. So
Yeah.
Right.
We'll,
This guy gets it.
We'll save it for another day.
I'll
I
consider it.
suppose.
Yeah. But anything else you had on Caitlin Clark?
I mean, you hit all the stats. I don't want to bore the viewers with. I mean, it probably is. It's definitely not boring. If we could somehow just without getting copyright claim, just roll the entire highlight tape of her season,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. But we can't do that. She's just tearing it up this year. I mean, she's obviously had a huge impact on the game, but it's like, besides the impact, she is just a genuine fun player to watch because she just has every facet to her game that you could possibly want to see. So yeah, she's 22. That's awesome to know.
And I love a player that smack talks and backs it up.
Yeah.
She doesn't shrink in those moments, even when the bigger stars are in her face talking smack.
Yeah.
She's right there with them.
I saw the video the other day, the slow-mo of her getting the block and then like
Talking
yelling in the
smack
player's
before she
face
gets the
before
rebound.
she even gets the live ball.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's what's up. Moving on now, big NFL news. This is something that we were not really talking about the last time we were doing the podcast. So here's something funny. I was just putting this together in my mind. Last podcast we were talking about Brandon Ayuk, and there was reports that he was going to the Steelers as long as he said, just said yep, and he was on that plane ready to go. Well, in the time span of Brandon Ayuk potentially becoming a Steeler to now, CeeDee Lamb has signed a 4-year, $136 million deal. And
He's
Brandon
actually
Ayuk,
played out those 4 years in the amount of time that we've been waiting on
yeah.
Brandon Ayuk to make a decision.
And the amount of time Brandon Ayuk has tweeted and done a lot of other stuff on social media talking about how he wants his money, CeeDee Lamb has become a Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
but a huge deal there for CeeDee Lamb. We had some discourse going on about this one. Not about CeeDee Lamb, but about the bozo who sits in the front office of Dallas. And we're talking about good old Jerry Jones. I mean, that guy.
You don't like him, Matt?
I think I think I'm farther on the spectrum from liking him and closer on the spectrum to wishing I could yell in his face about how bad he is at his job. I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
That makes sense.
And I think this dude should. I'm trying to think of where he should be employed. I don't know. Maybe being like, I don't know. Definitely not in the Cowboys front office though. Yeah,
a nursing home.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good place. Not even employed though, just there. Because I don't really think he is aware of who the impact players are on his team. Because hey, man, he's sitting there talking about, I'm the best, owner in the league, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm this and I'm that, and I don't care what people have to say. He had expletives in there, but this is a family show, and I won't do that.
Family friendly.
Yeah, but he had a lot of things to say about how he was super good at his job.
Mm-hmm.
It has taken him. When did the offseason start? April, May.
April, yeah.
So April, August. That's 4 months. So yeah, it's taken about 4 months to even possibly re-sign an undoubted top 10, possibly top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the sole receiver on that offense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty funny to me. He was very quick to get Dak Prescott his deal when he first re-signed him years ago. And he's still mulling over like, I got to get this contract for Dak Prescott. Hey, man, check your defensive room there.
Yeah.
You got the best, second best at least, defensive end. I almost got you with that statement there.
You did.
I was worried
I
about
almost
that.
came over this table.
You got the second best defensive end, possibly best, in your defensive room with Micah Parsons. You still got all that money to shell out, man. Like your job's not done. Still got a lot to do.
It took a while for the Dak contract to happen, and they didn't really have any other options. So I just think, how do you wait that long? Because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And the running backs, like they let all the good ones go to bring back the skeleton of Ezekiel Elliott. So,
But they got Dalvin Cook.
And Dalvin Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Dalvin Cook.
I call him Dalvin Cooked.
Oh, that's a good one.
good.
I like that.
Why are we going backwards? Why are they trying to make the team not even older, ancient?
Yeah.
Maybe Jerry Jones just wants some people like he can relate to,
Yeah.
age-wise. So
He wants to
that's the
talk
only
his-
explanation I have.
Yeah, he wants to talk AARP with the boys.
I know I talked about, I love when people talk smack talk and can back it up. On the opposite end, I hate when they talk smack talk and can't back it up. Jerry Jones is not backed up. He's the best GM in any world.
Yeah. I think you should change his last name. Here we go. Here's a little funny one here. Let me know if this one's good.
Okay.
I'll put it in my stand-up routine. He should change his last name to Josh. Jerry Josh, because I can't even make the joke. Whatever he says, he's just joshing around.
Nice.
So I think he's... What do we think back there? Was that a good one?
Y'all can't see me on there. I just gave the straightest 1,000-yard stare I
Let's
could give the
go.
camera, but that was a good one.
We got it going. Yeah, he really bothers me. I think to have that audacity to do that, I don't know. He's ballsy, obviously, because he has the audacity to sit there in front of media and be like, "I'm really good at my job." It's like, you're really not. You're probably bottom 5 at your job. So yeah, CeeDee Lamb signs a huge deal, and Jerry Jones is still a moron.
Was Jerry Jones the owner like back when they won their like Super Bowls and whatnot?
Yeah, dude's been the owner since like time began.
I was gonna say it's been a while, but yeah, I mean definitely no longer.
Still hanging on to that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean that's just the Cowboys in general have been holding on to that.
Yeah.
Fans, coaches, whatever. Like, yeah, we won Super Bowls back in the day. I know a couple fan bases like that. IU. Anyways.
Oh,
He's got a lot of money
man.
though, Jerry Jones. So like, good for him.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's gonna come on this podcast and just throw money in my face, and spit on me or something because he hates me so much. But moving forward with the NFL season, we're kicking off in a week. I am so excited.
Me too.
I'm about to flip out of my chair or something like that. But we're starting off with a heater. I mean, this is probably the best opening game the NFL's had. Last year was good,
Yeah.
but nobody expected it to be that good.
Right.
This year is expected to be really, really good, and I think it will be.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Ravens versus the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I'm going to call it Burrowhead, but it's not. At Arrowhead, Thursday, September 5th. How you feeling about that game? What's your predictions?
I I'm very excited for this game. The Ravens' new look offense, especially with Derrick Henry. Always been a big fan of him, but I just from the game 1 to the Super Bowl, I'm not betting against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think they'll win. My score prediction was 27-24. The thing I really want to pay attention to in this game, though, is how much the Chiefs blitz. Because I feel like if they try to get Lamar on the run, it may seem like a good idea, but I feel like that's when he's at his best. So I feel if they can stay back and still be a good secondary without blitzing, I feel like that'll be the key to them winning. I'm just Steve Spagnuolo. I don't know if he can call the dogs off.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got it in him.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll be looking for in this game. How about you?
So I just want to run through some numbers real quick. The date was January 28th, 2024. The number 1 seeded Ravens, who had, I believe, the best defense in the NFL, statistically. Hold on there, Alex. Had the best defense in the NFL, and they were having Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the Chiefs walk into, I don't know what their stadium's called, walk into Baltimore.
Yeah.
Chiefs won 17-10 in the AFC Championship. We all know that. Lamar goes 20 for 37, 272, 54%. Had a touchdown, had a pick, got sacked 4 times. That might sound good, but if you watch that game, that was horrible. He was really, really bad.
Yeah.
The pick that he threw, if you go back and watch it, was into, I think, triple
coverage. That image will never leave my brain.
Yeah.
I cannot consider Lamar a top-tier passer when he has made that pass. I mean, sure, I've done it in Madden, but like...
That's different.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different, you know?
That's different.
Yeah, it's true. Alex is just like that, but... yeah, that triple coverage, I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Now, whether you want to sit there and blame it on the offensive coordinator because they had such a dominant run game and yet they were still trying to pass the ball so much, irrelevant. Lamar Jackson
He didn't
stunk.
pass the ball. Offensive coordinator did not pass that ball.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just a really bad game for Lamar. I'm not saying it's going to be the same thing here because I think the offensive coordinator would probably lose his job week 1 if he decided to not run the ball with Derrick Henry now in his backfield. Say what you want about Derrick Henry. He's still a behemoth.
He still got it. Yeah.
He's still a defensive end that can carry the ball for touchdowns. So,
yeah, I feel like the Ravens were like on fraud watch this season.
Yeah.
Because if you can't win with the team that you had last year, I don't think it's happening.
You're losing Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
You
Geno Stone too.
Yeah, lost Geno Stone. You are losing. Man, that's crazy. They lost 2 of their defensive pieces to AFC North rivals. That's pretty wild. This is gonna be a Ravens hate podcast now.
They sorry to cut you off, but they also lost a couple key offensive linemen as well.
Yeah.
Which happened the year after Lamar won the MVP the first time. They lost a couple offensive linemen, and the offense, including Lamar, regressed. So I mean, it doesn't look as good on the offensive end either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really fun game. I think it will be probably a defensive game, maybe not as much of a defensive game as it was last year, due to losing some pieces because the Chiefs lost Snead, they kept Chris Jones and all that. Well, that was last year though. But Ravens lost Queen, Stone, probably some other smaller pieces on the defense. But I think the Chiefs are gonna come back. I think the Chiefs are probably gonna run the league again, unfortunately, and the suffering never ends. That's my takeaway from the NFL.
The Chiefs did the exact opposite of what the Ravens did. They had nobody and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they actually have a couple good pieces this year. So
yeah,
we're back to being terrified for our NFL lives.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the NFL, and then I'm gonna be really sad in 4 weeks. And I'm like, well, this sucks. Football sucks.
I have the same feeling of like demoralization as I did with Kevin Durant on the Warriors.
That's fair.
I didn't have any demoralization.
Yeah.
This guy.
Well, this is how we felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think that would be the equivalent of that would be like if oh man, I'm trying to think. Devontae Adams went to the Chiefs.
It was like when there was talks of CD going to the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
I was like, if that happens, just college football this year.
That would be like if Tyreek Hill was on the Chiefs.
Fair.
Can somebody draw up a
Do the jersey swap right now.
do the
when
jersey
you-
Yeah,
swap
I think
for
the
that.
that'd be a crazy jersey swap.
Yeah, that might be a jersey swap to watch out for. Maybe we'll clip that one. That might be a good one.
We should.
See if we can find somebody can do that for us. Moving forward, Packers versus Eagles. Day after, Friday, September 6th. They're playing in Brazil. That's gonna be a fun one, I think, as
For
well.
sure.
We're going to get to see Jordan Love. We were just talking about him not too long ago after he got his brand new deal. See how he performs. Very lofty expectations on him this year.
For sure.
I know a Packers fan, Noah Miller. Shout out to Noah Miller. Big Packers fan, and he is saying a lot of Jordan Love for MVP. So I say lofty expectations. I think I'm just saying Noah Miller's expectations.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fun one to see how he plays this season. I think he's good. But the Eagles' offense, I think, is going to be the fun one to watch in this one. Adding Saquon Barkley to that team, Jalen
rich get
Hurts.
richer.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And my only concern with Philly, obviously, is how they continue on without Jason Kelsey. But I think that will be overshadowed by the rehauling of the offense, and the defense, I think, will be at back end at elite level. So
Yeah.
I have Philly winning this game like 30-23. I don't know about you.
I have Philly winning it. I think the defense is going to be maybe not overwhelming for the Packers, but I think it's going to be probably a little bit more than what the Packers are ready for. And I think the biggest thing above all is just going to be the Philly's offense. Packers have a good offense, but I think they still have pieces that they could add to make them even better. I think Josh Jacobs' addition to that team is really good,
For sure.
but I don't think that's going to push them to beat the Eagles week 1.
Colton, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody on the bench warmers had Jordan Love for MVP. Am I wrong?
Yes, I believe that was Sir Joshua Northcutt. He's a big Jordan Love guy. I had him as like a long shot. I also have the Packers as long shot Super Bowl
So
contenders, but I mean, I could liken this game to kind of like the Lions and Chiefs game, like kind of the same vibes I had going into that one, where we knew the Lions had a great second half of the season the year before. Would they continue that trajectory? I have no doubt the Packers will probably continue their trajectory as well.
Yeah.
Where they're a very young team, still one of the youngest in the NFL, and I really like Jordan Love. I've mentioned that on this podcast, any podcast. So I also really like the Eagles, though. I think they are the best team in the NFC this year. So just on paper,
for sure.
See how it all plays out, of course. But yeah, Josh did in fact have that take, which I don't hate.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think I would agree more so with that it is a long shot. Because I think there's the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, the Joe Burrows.
Yeah. There's also the question of who's going to be like wide receiver 1 over there.
Yeah. That's a crowded wide receiver room for a different reason.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it's a lot. This is gonna sound mean. A lot of mid. It's not somebody that I don't even want to say they're mid. It's a lot of unsure. Like I don't know. Like
A lot of flashes. Like we've seen it, but we don't know. Like, is it going? They're going to be able to hold it for a whole season? Is Watson going to be able to? Is Dobbs? So
I think.
I see that.
Yeah, like especially like because Dobbs I remember was supposed to be a big one last year, and then there was Watson was a really good one, his rookie year and stuff, and it was like all over the place. But those are going to be 2 very fun games to kick off the NFL season. So NFL schedule makers, 2 thumbs up from me as well because that's a good start to the season. Alex,
2 thumbs up.
another 2. Let's go. Next, we're going to talk about the roster cuts that were made. There were some notable names that were cut. I think some of them were just like notable because they had like some cool highlights like 4 years ago, and so now they're not as cool. But there were some big ones. Here we got Jacob Staley behind the scenes. Thank you, first of all, for making the rundown. That's big time. But he wanted to highlight on here Kadarius Toney, famous first-round wide receiver pick. Everybody's favorite wide receiver, everybody's most reliable wide receiver in the NFL was cut.
It's going to be Colton's pick in the fantasy draft first round.
I would say that you'd be wrong if you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He
the
gets
best wide
fantasy
receiver.
points just based on aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he drops the ball so much. He has so much aura that he just drops the ball. But yeah, there's been some notable roster cuts. What were some roster cuts that you saw that you were maybe most shocked about, or that you were like, yeah, I don't know why that guy was even on a roster before?
I didn't really look at this as roster cuts. I looked at it more as roster decisions.
That's fair.
So I really wanted to highlight Jacoby Brissett over Drake May for New England for Week 1 against Cincinnati. Why? I feel like you don't want.
Look at my fingers thinking about that one.
You're going backwards. Why are you just delaying the inevitable of the starting quarterback you drafted to be that guy?
Yeah.
Let him play.
Yep.
You don't get out the rookie mistakes without playing.
Yeah.
And then, the good old Pittsburgh Steelers announced Russell Wilson will be the starter over Justin Fields. I give it to about week 5 before we're hearing the murmurs of, maybe we should change that. It should have been changed from week 1, but especially since Justin Fields already said he doesn't have any plans to sit for a whole year. So that's what I'm most looking at, really, with these roster decisions, I should say.
Yeah. I think, there were a lot of cool ones. Not cool ones, but, there's a lot of cool possibilities, I think, for some teams. Lewis Seen, he got cut by the Vikings. I don't know if you remember. He was a first-round pick out of Georgia, safety, 2 years ago. I think it was after, it was after they blew out TCU in the national championship. So I think that was 2 years ago. But he got cut. I just saw earlier today he was initially going to sign with the Jets, and then I think flipped, and now he's going to the Bills, which
Nice.
Good little depth to add to their safety room. Cincinnati beloved Samaje Perine was cut, and there was
I
one
did see
place that man needs to be going, back home to Cincinnati. I'd love to have Samaje Perine in my running back room.
I thought he got picked up.
Oh, did he end up getting picked
I
up?
think so.
Speaking of the Cincinnati running back room, what are we doing? Why do we have we don't use tight ends very much, right? But we have 5 of them. But we have 2 running backs now?
Chiefs signed him.
Like, Chiefs got Pirine?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Figures.
Oh, dude.
I can't wait to see the little Pirine passes on 3rd down like we used to have.
Whoa, why are you calling him little, man? Insulting the man's P run? What are we doing?
No. I wasn't saying that. Come on. You're taking it out of context.
Another notable cut, Tim Patrick. He got cut. I mean, he's blown his Achilles out, I think, the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be kind of seems like a Jets pickup to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has already been picked up, but that seems like a Jets pickup to me. Signing a wide receiver who, for a little bit, was a good deep threat, and then that's what they did with Mike Williams. So, never mind, the Lions signed him. Where am I at right now? So, yeah, it's been a very interesting part of the season so far, seeing who's been cut, who's not been cut. Moving on to the season itself.
Mm-hmm.
What games are sticking out to you maybe this season around the league, whether it's your team or around the league, and what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Well, the first exciting game I wanted to talk about was the Jets at 49ers Week 1. Aaron Rodgers coming off an injury, going against the nastiest defense in the league. You all are just bullying that man.
Did you see the tweet?
That is unfair. No, I don't think so.
There was a tweet where someone said Aaron Rodgers going against who was the guy who's can't think of his name now. He's a defensive end for the Bills last year, though. He was the one that tackled Aaron Rodgers when he blew out his Achilles.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name.
Leonard Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Aaron Rodgers playing against Leonard Floyd, the guy who hurt him, and then Nick Bosa in an election year. It's crazy.
But another one that I know you all are excited about, but I'm excited about just from an NFL standpoint, is Week 2. Yeah. Bengals at Kansas City. Cannot wait to see that playoff implication game so early in the year. It's really rare to see, so I can't wait to see what that environment's like. And then I kind of hit on this earlier when we were talking about rosters, but Week 4, Pittsburgh versus Dallas. If that game's bad, I think that is when we start hearing the calls for Justin Fields. We have a very favorable schedule going into the start of the season. So if everything's going good by that game and through that game, Russell Wilson may have it for the whole season. We will see. But Super Bowl-wise, I wanted to pick Houston so bad. I really did.
Ooh.
But Kansas City still plays football. So I have Houston making it to the AFC Championship, but losing to Kansas City. Who three-peats against Philly?
That makes me want to throw up just hearing it, honestly.
Right.
It makes me really sad.
What do you got for exciting games and then the Super Bowl?
Exciting games. I think the season opener, that's obviously a super exciting game. I'm very excited for the Bengals against the Chiefs. So the games I'm really excited for are Bengals games.
That makes sense.
Bengals and Chiefs is obviously a good one just because of the rivalry. Joe is finally back and healthy, hopefully, against the Chiefs.
We'll see.
Yeah. The one that I'm probably very, very excited about is Week 8. We play Philly at home. That is, we are wearing all orange that game. Not that it matters, but we're wearing all orange that game. And I'm really hoping Philly will break out the Kelly Green because I think that matchup, that jersey matchup would be crazy. But you were talking about that game that you all have against, who was it?
America's team, apparently, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. Sorry, I forgot about a very forgettable team.
Yeah.
And you said you were talking about how that game could be a decider for quarterback. Do you remember a couple years ago you guys were playing Detroit when Detroit was really, really bad? And I don't know if Detroit even had their, like, I don't think Jared Goff was starting for him that game. I want to say it was like Boyle or something like that. And that was like one of the, no offense, that was one of the worst games I've ever watched in my entire life.
That's fair.
It was raining. There was snow, I think. And it was just a wet, nasty field. So, I was just thinking about that one because you were talking about that game against Dallas, and I feel like it's going to be a very similar game.
The Steelers' offense has just been abysmal the last 3 or 4 years. So, hoping Arthur Smith can change that. Not hopeful.
What?
But we'll see.
Yeah. Something will definitely happen on that football field.
There will be a game, for sure.
Who's your third string wide receiver?
Second string is even bad. Like,
I mean, third string wide receiver. That's about to be your wide receiver 1 because you have Arthur Smith as
you're
as
right.
your OC.
But yeah, Pat Freiermuth, wide receiver 2. Even though he's a tight end,
get the season going.
Can't wait to see Scotty Miller and Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson.
Yeah, man, that offense is going to be playing football.
Yeah, they're going to be electric.
Definitely not excited to watch that one, though. Sorry.
That's okay.
But, I think we're primed for a really good season. Every season is really good because it's football.
That's right.
And that's my America moment of the week.
Good American football.
Good old
America.
Yeah, just some good old American football. Oh, my Super Bowl prediction, Chiefs. Unfortunately, it makes me really sad. As much as I want to say the Bengals, it depends on health. And if we aren't healthy, and I don't want to jinx us, so I'm not going to say we're going to be healthy. Even though I just did, but I said it as a joke, so it doesn't count. But yeah, I'm going Chiefs Super Bowl, unfortunately.
Any idea who you have them over?
Philly again. I think Philly is going to. I think San Fran is going to have issues throughout the season with contract question marks. Here's my wild take. And their play on the field is not going to look as good because Debo is going to be wide receiver 1 for part of the season, and that's not good ever. And so they are going to waltz into the playoffs, maybe get dropped second round. Green Bay, I think, is going to be the 3 seed in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose to Philly, if that's possible.
I like it. Kolton, who do you have for your Super Bowl pick?
So I am currently not allowed to give out my Super Bowl pick. I'm saving that for the live show this Tuesday at 7:30.
Oh, excuse us.
That Alex will be a part of. But I will say I do have a feeling about Philadelphia. I think they could beat, of course, Chiefs in the AFC. I think they could stop the three-peat. I don't know why, but maybe.
You need that.
I need it.
Maybe.
I need the revenge tour.
I can't, dude. If there's a three-peat, I don't know if I'm ever watching football ever again.
Lie.
That is just, that's definitely a lie.
We all say it.
Yeah. I'm going to be so incredibly bummed out. I was really bummed after they beat Philly last year because I was just like, I knew this was going to happen. Or 2 years ago. Last year, they beat San Fran, and I was like, okay, well, that this is just kind of this is getting funny now.
Yeah.
This year, if it happens, you might need to put me into a mental asylum or something like Arkham. I'm going to be going into Arkham Asylum because I'm going to be in another world. So, yeah, that's our thoughts on the football season.
We haven't even mentioned Travis Kelce's girlfriend yet. Like, is she going to be? Are we going to have to deal with her all year again? Like, or is that like done?
So thanks for tuning into this episode, guys.
I feel like we haven't talked about Joe Burrow's haircut enough, but we can save that for another episode.
Talk about how awesome it is.
Okay.
Slim Shady.
Are you going to get that cut?
I'm going to keep it this color. We have similar haircuts, sure, but I think this color suits me best.
Okay. I don't.
He didn't want to get like you two confused. That's why he got the
makes
blonde.
sense, yeah. How about you, Matt? You going for the blonde?
That's my goal,
sounds like you like it. Yeah.
That's I'm getting my haircut this Friday.
Ooh.
So much like your Super Bowl pick, Colton, I'm not gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna do. Maybe I will get it bleached. Maybe I will get it buzzed and bleached, and then I'm gonna come on here, and the aura is gonna blow the door off this place.
Unmatched.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all we got on the schedule for today. Alex, you got any final notes?
The only thing I wanted to mention was you all should watch the Paralympics. They start today. We film on Thursdays, so you all will already be in the thick of it. But make sure you are tuning into that because it is just as fun as the Olympics we just saw.
I think men's basketball got a win today.
Did they? I didn't get to watch it because homework, but I will watch the replay.
Priorities.
Yeah, it gets in the way. It's embarrassing. Any last words for you or Kolton back there?
My last words. I'm trying to think of something memorable I could say. I'm going to start doing that each episode. I'm going to drop something memorable on everyone. Drop a made-up philosophical quote. Every once in a while, somebody's going to stop and they're going to tell you, you can't make it forward. And you need to look them in the eyes. And you need to tell them, there has never once been a sunflower that didn't see the moon.
That's so deep.
That's my drop-off for the episode.
Fabio Cephalosha.
Let's go. I like that one. That was a good one.
There is no better last words that we could have ended the show on than what Kolton blessed us with there. So that's going to do it this week for the Beyond the Score podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BT_, then the word score, and YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. Big thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use the studio, and we will see you all in the next one.